Hello everyone, nubkeks here, welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video I want to give you my guide to Gaius the Gleeful in Raid Shadow Legends, how I have built him up myself. I'll also give you a couple of other builds too. The way I'm building him here is not the only way to build him. I think there's like two other main ways that you can build him, which will make him very effective as well. And I'll explain the pros and cons of each and the key features of each one too as we go. Anyway, he was a Fragment Collector champion. I did a little showcase of him when he first came out, but this is how I've settled on him and how I have built him and where I use him. Now that I've got him for myself on my account, spoiler warning, he's really good. He's so good. He's a key part of my arena team, key part of my 3v3 teams. Yeah, he's he found his way into the teams. He replaced champions for me, so he's fantastic, just so strong. Let's dive into his kit then. A1, Chuckling Sickles. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. 20% damage from books. This actually hits reasonably hard. It's a good A1. The extra turn mechanic is extremely strong. Any champion that has this is a very, very powerful A1, in particular because it just gets you back to your other abilities, and it was A2 in particular is insane. With my build, we're not going to make too much use out of this because building him to make maximum use of this can actually negatively impact your performance in the arena. We'll talk about that when we get to the build. But it is a really good A1. We're just not building for it here today. Now his A2, Jester's Remedy, is just an insane move. It's next level. 3 turn cooldown when booked. AoE attack has a 75 bucks to 100% chance of placing sleep on each enemy for 1 turn. Also has a 75 that bucks to a 100% chance of placing 2 bomb debuffs on each enemy that detonate after 2 turns. This is just nuts. This does so much. These bomb debuffs hit extremely hard. So the way that bombs work, bombs don't benefit at all from books. Like these books, 10% damage, 10% damage. That's not going to up our bomb damage. Bombs aren't going to be increased by any masteries. Bombs simply scale off your attack stat. And each bomb debuff in the game has its own unique multiplier. I think the default is a 4 times multiplier, if I'm not mistaken, but different champions can affect them in different ways. No 2 bombs really are the same. For Gaius, he has a very good multiplier. He has a 5 times attack multiplier on his bombs. Now, bombs, obviously, they can't crit, but they do ignore defense fully. They completely ignore defense, which means that they will be a very consistent source of damage and also a very high source of damage. Yeah, so it's insanely powerful. And you'll see when we build him up, right? We're going to want to be cranking his attack as high as we can to really maximize that bomb damage. So a really good move. The sleep effect is extremely good as well, and that's going to factor into how I'm building him, but you can essentially make it so that your enemies are going to miss their turn, they're going to sleep through, and then the next time they take a turn, they're going to blow up the bombs when they try to move, which is most likely going to kill them. It's just an insane move, right? Then is A3 Explosive Wit. This has a 4 turn cooldown when booked, attacks one enemy 2 times. First hit instantly detonates all bomb debuffs on the target, and the second hit ignores all unkillable buffs on the target. And again, this move is incredibly good. It's a pretty reasonably common set that you'll run into in the arena is Swift Parry. Swift Parry is that 50-50 chance to get unkillable for a turn when you're going to die. So you'll run into revive champions in particular who are running this set. So champions like Sifi, champions like Duchess, Gaius comes in and he smacks through that, right? Blowing up all the bombs is pretty much going to bring anyone to 1 hit point on the first hit, trigger that Swift Parry if you're unlucky and it triggers. The second hit then does the 1 extra damage hitting through that unkillable and actually finishes them off. So this is a very useful move. It's very, very strong. And then finally, his passive is also pretty decent, low chance though, but when attacked, he has a 30% chance of placing a bomb debuff on the attacker that detonates after 2 turns, occurs once per hit. So this bomb also has a 5 times attack multiplier, which makes it super strong. By the way, to put it in context, the AoE attack here, the actual attack portion of this has a 3.8 multiplier, and I'd say a typical really strong nuking multiplier is a 4 times multiplier. So he's pretty much up there with your typical AoE nukers. But yeah, to put that in context, the direct hit, 3.8 times attack multiplier. And that obviously gets reduced by armor, by defense, the gear they're wearing. It can benefit from critical multipliers though. but it's kind of a toss-up, you know, that versus 2 5x multipliers, completely ignoring defense, but non-crit, you know, that's what we're talking about. The other part of his passive, really strong, instantly detonate all bomb debuffs on all enemies whenever this champion is killed. So the hilarious thing about this, I'm not sure if we're going to see it in today's showcase, but the hilarious thing is that Gaius can come, and so long as really he lands those bombs on the enemy team, even if they blow you up and they kill your entire team, his passive will trigger, kill all of them, and you'll win the fight, which is, it's kind of hilarious. There's been some really fun and creative teams put together. Soda Dragon in particular, check out Soda Dragon. He did some really fun videos building cheese strats with like multiple soul drinkers and Gaius. So you can check that. I'm not going to show you that in today's video, the cheese strats. We're going to focus on a more straightforward strat with Gaius. He does have an aura as well, 25% ally attack in all battles. It's a decent aura. I actually use this in Knight Revenant Faction Crypt. Unfortunately, I can't show you that Faction Crypt today, unfortunately. But do beware of Gaius. I'll just say this right now. Be careful of Gaius in Faction Wars. The level 21 boss for Knights Revenant, can throw bombs back on you. So he'll kill your entire team, right? And because his passive places bombs, even if you turn off his A2, he can still reflect bombs back onto your team, which can wipe you out. So for me, it works fine because I have a very high resistance, 460 resistance Rector Wrath in there, who can revive the team and keep us going. So even if that happens, we're going to be okay. Or I also run a Skull Crown in there, and Skull Crown can give herself unkillable, so she won't die from his bombs. At least, you know, she'll die after that, but she won't die straight away. So you can do a couple of things like that. So he can absolutely work in Knight Revenant 21. I use him there in the lead for the aura, but it might not always work for you, right? You might end up just wiping your own team because of the boss, but he's so good for clearing the waves and all the rest. All right, let's talk about builds then. There's several different ways that you can build Gaius, right? There's several ways. What I have gone for here is triple perception gear, and I'm building him for 3 things: high attack, high speed, and high accuracy. And the idea is very simple, right? We've got over 5,000 attack. Now, this is like for my level of account, this is actually reasonably lower, but it's as much as I could give him while still getting his speed and his accuracy really high. He has 255 speed, so he's very fast, and he has 643 accuracy. I think the best way to show you what this does is to go straight into an arena match. So let's go up against this team. So actually a pretty high defense team, Iron Brago. He has an aura that's giving everyone a bunch of his defense. So a high defense enemy team. We don't have a decreased defense or anything, but we should be able to smash them down. We've got Torment to counter the speed leads and speed boosting of Lysandra, and then Romantu Strip. So basically the way this team works, I'll turn it off auto. We'll see how it goes. This is what I use for speed farming Classic Arena. So Torment is in here specifically if they are faster. He has a really good chance to freeze them if their Arbiter's faster. My Arbiter, not very fast. Turns out his Arbiter's much slower, but basically this is what happens. My Arbiter gives us increased attack, boosts our turn meter. Then I've got Romantu comes in. You could use Madame Ceres. You could use actually Rian the Conjurer that you get from Doom Tower. Normal secret rooms. Really good here because Weaken debuff improves the damage of your bombs. So Rian would be a very, very good option that you can get reasonably early-ish into playing the game. Anyway, Bloodwings here is going to remove any of their buffs. This is important in case any of them are running an immunity set, right? Block debuffs really ruins what Gaius is going to do. Then we can see because Gaius is really high speed, he is speed tuned in here, so he gets to come in. We're going to do Jester's Remedy. Boom, high accuracy. Actually, Arbiter resisted the bombs. That might be unlucky seeing as the sleep landed. I'm not 100% sure. And she got locked out. So I think that was unlucky, but the rest of them do have bombs on them. We could actually come in. We could just directly single target attack their Arbiter. We don't really care what she does. There we go. We can increase our turn meter stuff again. I'm just going to slam Arbiter with a bunch of hits here. Puts out fears on everyone. With Gaius, let me actually show off his A3 here so you can see what it does, right? Let's hit let's blow up Syl of the Drakes, shall we? So we're going to hit her with this. Boom, the bombs explode. She goes down. Bye-bye, Syl. And we can just pretty much hit auto by now at this point. Actually, let's leave it off of auto so you can see this stuff when they come take their turns. Bam, 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 bam. They all explode, down they go. So you can see we're hitting for about 38,000 damage with an increased attack bomb from Gaius. And you could see there in Iron Brago, we were hitting for about 48,000 or something like that when we had Weaken on. Weaken upping the damage of those bombs by 25%. In other words, you know, we're hitting for 38k. Let's double that up. If the 2 bombs get placed by Gaius, that's about 70,000 damage hitting someone that ignores defense. That's going to kill nearly all champions in this game. It's very rare you're going to run into someone in Arena that's going to be able to take 70,000 damage ignoring defense to the face and still keep going. Very few champions, very few teams. If we get Weaken on them, and Roman 2 can place Weaken, Arbiter's A1 places Weaken, you're hitting them for almost 100,000 damage at that point. And again, put in Rian the Conjurer, and you'll be good to go. So if we see this on full auto, let's go against this team right here. This one looks pretty good. Start on auto, and you'll see how it works. One thing that can go slightly wrong is that, here we go, you can see they actually outspeed us, but we cut them off. But our team is speed tuned, so we come in, we strip them, the bombs are on, Arbiter takes a turn, she dies, bye-bye Arbiter, boom, boom, boom. And there we go, like 8 seconds speed farming, and this team works absolutely great. Again, there's other variations you can use. You don't need the Torment if you're confident in your Arbiter speed. I am not, so Torment is in there to give us just that cheeky speed farming win. Right there, you can see him do his job. And then, yeah, Romantu for stripping, locking them out, stopping passives, just makes it faster to farm stuff, and all the rest. So there you go. You can see exactly what we're doing. I need to show you his masteries and all the rest, and talk about the other builds, and also we're going to check out Bommel too. Lots of stuff still to come. So here we go. How have I built him up this way? I'll show you the actual gear. So we've got room to improve here. I can squeeze a bit more attack. I could squeeze more speed, more accuracy out of him. I actually want to get more accuracy out. I want to kind of hopefully get him closer to that 700 mark. Without Faction Guardians, that's difficult, but it is doable, maybe. You can see, again, with his helmet, we're looking for speed and accuracy. These are the big things, speed and accuracy. On the chest piece, 2 rolls in speed, 1 in accuracy. The crit rate not really doing anything for us. In fact, it can actively be bad. Speed and accuracy on the gloves, and we have attack percentage gloves. We're going to have an accuracy chest. This has crit rate and speed and attack. Again, this crit rate, not necessary. He doesn't need any crit rate at all with this build. In fact, it can be bad. It can be bad. So this would be better if it had more rolls in attack percentage or more speed. And then we actually have him in speed boots, right, with 2 rolls in accuracy. They're only 5-star rare boots. They could be better, but they're doing what they can. Then, of course, no surprise here, an attack ring with as much attack percent as we can. We can glyph that up some more when I get a 6-star glyph. We have an attack necklace. Okay, this can be glyphed up with more accuracy. And then we have an accuracy banner with as much attack percent as we can and some speed to try get him up to this stuff. The amount of speed that he needs is basically use the arena speed calculator and figure it out for yourself, but he needs to be speed tuned with your Arbiter, which he is for me. He is for me, so he will always go after Arbiter unless something interrupts us. This is what I'm talking about as well. Let me mention the Masteries, so you know. When I'm talking about critting being bad, the reason why is this, right? There's a 50% chance with Cycle of Revenge to get turn meter when an ally is attacked with a critical hit. So this can potentially throw some stuff off. I have my Romantu with literally 15% crit rate. That's all he has. But because he does go first and because Bloodwings is an attack, there's always a potential that he will crit someone and then their Arbiter or whatever could get a bit of turn meter and it could interrupt my speed tune they could cut in. It rarely happens. Very rarely happens. Giving Gaius more speed so he's like 1 speed slower than a Romantu would help. Yeah, I mean, there's just kind of no way around it. Like I said, stick in a Rian the Conjurer to strip off their buffs. Where's Rian? A Rian the Conjurer, I've got him in Stone Skin. I'm going to mention Stone Skin in a second. To come in, remove buffs and place Weaken might be a better option in some senses, make it free to play. But I like the just Romantu keeping it easy. Keeping it easy. But yeah, this is how we're built here. This is how we're built. Let me show you the masteries and then we'll talk about alternative builds. So these are the masteries that we have set up here. So the most important thing, of course, is going down the support tree. We want more accuracy, and we want more accuracy when no skills are on cooldown. As much accuracy as possible. We want more accuracy for every enemy alive. Then we're going to give him Lore of Steel. This is giving us more accuracy with the triple perception. Sniper, just because we might as well. I think it ups the chance of placing bombs with his passive. And then most importantly, Eagle Eye for plus 50 accuracy. accuracy, 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 cranking it all up. There's very little damage you get from bombs on the offense tree. In fact, I think only Blade Discipline would give you damage from bombs. So we're just going to go down defense. We're going to give him less damage from AoEs. Chance to remove a random debuff, actually quite good. Very good chance for this to trigger because he's so squishy. If he doesn't die, it could remove a stun or something, give him a chance. Then we give him Cycle of Revenge. So again, if they get to go first and they nuke us, there's a chance here at these defensive masteries he might survive, remove a debuff, get some turn meter, then he can maybe go, and if Gaius gets to go, there's a really good chance that we just win the fight anyway. We do have him with Retribution, a bit of a counterattack as well. Not super important, but this is how I have him built up with the Masteries, right? So this is build number 1, which you saw in action. You see how it works. It works phenomenally well. Speed tune with your Arbiter, speed boost, you go first, you lock him out, put him to sleep, and you're going to kill them anyway. Now, the other way that you can build him is a slower build. I think this is the other main way I would build him, which would be building him in Stone Skin, right? So building him in Stone Skin, you'd be building him something like I've built Lord Shazar, something like that. So in a Stone Skin set, at least a 4-piece, you could do something like this with 4 pieces of Stone Skin and 1 of Perception. And the idea here is that the Stone Skin buff will simply keep you alive, right? That will keep you alive, keep you going. So even if you don't go first, you'll still get a chance to go. And you could run him again with a Stone Skin stripper, someone like I've got Rian set up here. Now, Rian's boots aren't actually rolled up, so Rian's a little bit too slow. You'd want your stripper like Rian to go first, strip their buffs, place the weaken in case they placed block debuffs on them, then have Gaius 1 speed slower in the Stone Skin to then go in and interrupt. Again, if you're going to set it up like that, just be careful of any masteries that might give you turn meter, because there would be a chance, for example, that if a crit went out on the Stone Skins, that Gaius could cut ahead of Rian. So just be careful with your masteries if that is the build you're going for. And the purpose of this sort of build, what would I be going for with this? Because you're not going to build any speed with this, no speed, and it's going to keep you alive, you can work on cranking attack up lots. Now with Lord Shazar, he needs 100% crit rate. With Gaius, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that with Gaius. And then trying to get some accuracy in as well. So again, you kind of crank up accuracy. The difference would be if I go to my Gaius, you'd be building them for around 200 speed would be fine. So I could drop 50 speed, no problem here. So for example, I could come in, and imagining this is Stone Skin, I could switch these speed boots for attack percentage boots. We're going to do a lot more damage. We're not going to be as fast. We're not going to go early and sleep them early, but we'd have Stone Skin to protect us, and our bombs are going to hit harder. That's sort of the concept right there. I think it's fairly intensive to build it well, and you might want like a Stone Skin, something like Yoshi the Drunkard in Stone Skin, someone like that to come and give you increased accuracy. You could build a whole Stone Skin team around it, a slow Stone Skin team. This is going to blow stuff up. That can totally work. And then the other way to build Gaius is just as a traditional nuker. So you wouldn't really worry too much about crit damage, but you build him with 100% crit rate and just hitting hard. And that can work too. The downside of that is masteries. If you crit with Gaius, if you hit hard, this mastery here can really be the bane of your life. It's so overpowered and it ruins a lot of arena teams. I don't like this mastery at all, but there it is. 50% chance to remove a random debuff when they lose 25% of their max HP from a single enemy skill. If you make Gaius hit hard with his crits, those crits can just remove the bombs. It does happen sometimes anyway, because he's so much attack. It will happen. But there's no real sort of way around it. So there you go. That's, again, another way to build him. And with that build, you could go down the offense tree. You could stick him into Helm Smasher, so he hits harder. And you're just building him to hit hard. Because Gaius hits really hard. His direct attacks hit really hard. And then the bombs sort of finish them off. That's absolutely a viable way to build him. He'd be really good in that situation as well. Like I said, I like this build the best. I like this one the best because it fits well with my speed team. The downside, of course, is that if we get outsped, if they go first, this build doesn't do much. But if we go first, it works really well. So especially for offense in 3v3, I'll be sending this team against a team that's not as... not super fast, and we can really exploit it. Another cool thing we can do if we check out this team, so this might interrupt us slightly because they have a Valkyrie who messes with turn meter, but against this team I can come in and I could send in, boom, this team right here. Oh, by the way, so presets for the team, how have I set them up? So Romantu 1 and 2, Tormund nothing, and Gaius 1 and 2. Likewise for this team, 1 and 2 here. Yoshi to increase our accuracy, and Gaius to go. So how does this team work? With this one, we give up the Arbiter aura for 80 extra accuracy. Okay, so now my Gaius, my Romantu are going to be over 700. We're still faster than them. I know this because I can see their team and they're slow. Boost our turn meter. Yoshi is going to give us increased accuracy. We do get cut in by her, and this is kind of bad actually. You can see right there that because of Valkyrie, she pushed Romantu back, but not Gaius. So it did mess with us slightly. But at this point, my Gaius, he has over 700 accuracy, thanks to the aura and his accuracy we built him with. Now he's 50% more. So my Gaius now has over 1,000 accuracy. It is unlikely that Duchess is going to be able to resist. So we're going to basically get free kills on Duchess and Seeker. He can obviously resist Mountain King, and she's got block debuffs, unfortunately. But here we go. The bombs go out. The sleep goes out. There's only that tiny 3% chance they resist. We can strip off their buffs at this point, say thank you very much, but no thanks. Let's try get the weaken on Duchess. There we go. With increased accuracy, it's very doable, just to make sure that she hopefully goes down. We'll try out some burns with him. Boom! Gaius dies, the passive kicks in and wipes them out. Happy days. We're totally fine with that. And now we can start just slamming them with some hits here. There we are, and we can like revive. Just leave it on auto now at this point. And we'll start stunning all the rest. We're going to just CC them with these guys and wait for Gaius to get back around. You can see our damage isn't quite as high here. You know, we're reliant on those bombs. We missed the bombs. It does slow down slightly. There we go. Bam. The bombs are on. She dies anyway. Romantu finishes her off. And there we go. We slam through. Really fun, right? Gaius dies and it works in your advantage. So pretty cool. So that's another thing you can do. Sort of a Romantu specific strategy. I think, does Rian have an accuracy in all battles aura? I don't remember. Rian, double check. Has an accuracy aura. It is accuracy in all battles. You get 40. So it's not quite as good, but it works really well. And then any other champions, really. In that case, you might even get away with not using Arbiter. You could build a team without Arbiter. Maybe more so relying on Stone Skin if you don't have the speed boost, because Yoshi gives you increased attack and increased accuracy. Or you could use someone like Lady Kimmy, who gives you increased accuracy and increased speed. You're getting increased attack from Arbiter. Just make sure you've increased attack for Gaius. Then the final thing I want to show you, just for a little bit of fun here, guys, we mostly focused on Arena. Let me show you some Bommel stuff as well. So this is Bommel 50 hard. I made an adjustment to my team that I showed off last time. The Bommel rotation was around sort of the easy team for beating it, which is built around Vogoth and Geomancer. So you can see here we've got Geomancer in the lead. We've got 2 Vogoths to keep us alive when the big bombs explode. We've got Godseeker and Eerie for some revives. And you can see Gaius. Gaius actually gets a bomb on him. You see that bomb that's on the boss? There's 2. The one without the gold border is Gaius's passive, I do believe. Or he put out some bombs there as well. We put out bombs with his A2 when we got to the fight. You see Gaius is getting blown up. He goes down without doing too much. The bombs with the golden border that are on the boss are from Deflection set. We've got Deflection set on Geomancer. So when Geomancer places all his debuffs on the boss, he's a good chance to throw those bombs back, which does a lot of damage. Scales really well for Doom Tower hard. You see there's another one on the boss that's really going to help us to kill him, which is good because this is certainly a bit of a tight fight here. It's a tight one. We're going to get through just about. Here we go. He takes a double turn and the bomb finishes him off. So you can see Gaius running in this team, he works okay. He's quite squishy, so he will die, but he can do a bit of damage to that boss. It might be that little bit extra that you need to secure that kill, and you can rerun it a few times to get lucky with Gaius's passive. All the rest, you could put a Vogoth in front of Gaius in the turn order, so he might get healed up a bit before he gets killed by those bombs, because he is built to be very squishy. You could build him with 40 or 50k HP if you wanted to make sure he survived here. He's got more accuracy than he needs. But even with this arena build, he can work on floor 50 hard. Not amazing, but decent. Not amazing, but decent. And he'd be very good for easy Bommel, all the way up to floor 90 of easy Doom Tower. He's going to be very good as well for floor 10 of hard. He would not be good for floor 90. With this build, no way. He's just going to be dead all the time. He won't do anything. Check out my Revive on Death team for Bommel if you want to see that. But yeah, you can see this works well. This works well. So there you go. That is Gaius, guys. Let me know what you think. What do you think? I recommend mostly building him like this. Mostly like this. Building him for Arena because he's so good. So good for Arena. One of the straight up best champions. Oh, I didn't even mention, but bombs obviously counter Stone Skin themselves. You can place bombs on Stone Skin. They do tons of extra damage. So he'll help you if you ever run into any enemies with Stone Skin. But yeah, he's just an insanely good champion. The bombs do so much damage. The control from the sleep. This move is just A+, S tier in Arena on another level. Gaius is fantastic. How have you built him? Have you gone for the stone skin route? Have you gone for the high accuracy route? Do you have him slower as more of a nuker? Do you have him faster like I do, kind of doubling up his control plus crazy bomb damage? Let me know. I'd be curious to hear. But there you go. That's my thoughts on Gaius. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.